guys, welcome back to my channel. Marie. Today I'll be starting off with a brand new reading vlog. Before I get started, if you're new to this channel, please don't hesitate to subscribe down below, as well as the notification bell. But this is going to be the start of my bookopoly reading vlog for this entire month. So it's actually been a couple days into September, and I've actually been reading, and I just haven't had time to actually start this reading vlog. But I already managed to finish my first book for this readathon, and that is Once Upon a K-Prom by Kat Cho. This is for my trope pick. By the way, all of my TBR that I did for this readathon is in a different video. I'll link that above and down below in case you want to check that out. But I just managed to finish this earlier today. I read it on audiobook, and this was such a cute book. I loved everything about it. I love the K-drama references. I love the K-drama tropes. I love the childhood pack trope. I love the characters, the romance. Like, it was just a really good fun time. The only thing I would say that kind of like frustrated me in the beginning was the whole premise of the story. So in the beginning, Elena is just trying to fundraise money to save the community center, which is great. She was trying to tell people that, hey, instead of spending $1,000 on your prom dress, maybe you can, you know, buy a cheaper one and use the money that you save and donate it to the community center, which makes sense. But then for some reason she was like against people going to prom. Like, she was basically like protesting it, but like not in a way. She was like, I'm not against prom, but then why would she? There's a lot of things that she said and did in the beginning when people were trying to buy prom tickets that she wasn't very, like, she didn't really condone, you know, because she was like, well, people should go and fundraise and donate money to community center instead. But the whole premise is that, like, if you want people to basically give you money that they could have used instead for prom, like the extra money, then they should still go to prom, right? So like, there was one thing in particular that happened in the very beginning with her twin brother, where the brother was like, she was like, okay, my own brother's against me because he's buying prom tickets, etc. And here I am trying to like protest and tell people to donate to this community center. But what her brother said to her was that it's the first week, prom tickets are discounted. And I'm like, Elena, isn't that a good thing? Shouldn't you be advocating people to buy the prom tickets when they're discounted? That way the money that they saved, because it's discounted, could be used to donate to the community center. So I'm like, the way how like she thought about things, I was like, why didn't you just think of it in a better, positive, like a more efficient manner, you know what I mean? Instead of being like, oh, he's immediately against me and these people are going to prom and blah blah blah, like spending so much money, which I get. But don't get me wrong, like, people do spend a lot of money and go all out for prom, and they can definitely find cheaper alternatives and thus donate the extra money to the community center, but like they still have to go to prom, right? So like, it's just, she kept saying that she's like not against prom, but like her actions definitely felt like she was against prom, and like that kind of irked me in the beginning. So I was like, I don't know, your actions don't really make sense, and like your whole objective on saving money of what they could have spent on prom to be spent to the donation also didn't really make a lot of sense, because your actions did not really match your mission, you know what I mean? So like, it just like irked me in that sense, and I feel like that didn't really make a lot of sense. So this is why I gave this book 4 stars, just because I feel like this is the whole like original situation, the whole like original problem, and for that to kind of have so many like holes in it and doesn't make a lot of sense to me is not very good. So that's all I can say really for this book. But I did manage to finish the first book for this readathon. I'm off to a great start, but I have now picked up another book, which is The Queen's Assassin by Melissa De La Cruz. This is for the book that's supposed to be for spring theme, and I am now on page 91, so I've definitely made some progress. I'm going to actually sit down and read this a little bit more right now. I actually thought about DNF'ing this book. I got to reading a little bit more, and I'm like, you know what, I'm a little bit more invested now. Let me just continue and see where it goes. So this book basically follows 2 POVs. One is Saladin Holt, who is the kingdom's deadliest assassin, and one day something happens where he's now sent off by the queen's command, and so far the quest is not the best right now for him. And on the other hand, it follows a girl called Shadow, who has been training her entire life to be part of the guild, which is going to be one of the assassins like Saladin. And due to circumstances, she finds herself on this same kind of like quest mission with him, and the two of them have this like chemistry and attraction towards each other, even though they have very different roles and positions in the kingdom and for their queen and like the monarchy. So there's a lot going on, definitely some politics in here. So anyways, I'm definitely intrigued as of this book right now. will try to read more and see where this goes. But then in terms of my audiobook, since I did manage to finish listening to Once Upon a K-Prom, I just picked up The Eighth Girl by Maxine Mei Feng Chung. This book is very precarious right now. I'm actually thinking about DNF'ing this book as well because I just started it and I'm ready just like, this is a no. But I'm going to try to listen to it for at least a couple more minutes, you know, like half an hour or something, and see where that goes. Thankfully I have it on like 1.75 times the speed, so it would definitely be a lot faster than just regular speed. But I don't know, there's something about this book that I'm like not vibing with right now, so I might DNF this book. We'll see. But yeah, I just want to like update you guys on my reading since the month has just started, and I'm hoping that this month will be good for my reading. I don't know, we'll see. I feel like every time I'm like, I feel like I don't read a lot of books, but then at the end of the month when I actually calculate how many books I read, I'm like, I actually read a decent amount. And I think to myself like, when did I actually have time to read all of this? Because I feel like time passes either too fast or too slow, and you know, things just happen. Hey guys, so just doing another quick update on my reading. I feel like this lighting honestly looks horrible. I don't know why. I think it's just a really harsh light on my skin. But I did want to update you guys because I have done some reading since I have last updated you guys. And I'm still reading The Queen's Assassin, but now I am on page 252. So I've definitely made some progress. I would say my biggest issue with this book is that it doesn't read like how old the characters actually are. So they are definitely like 18, 19 years old, and they read like 13, 14 years old. So it definitely feel like the book is geared more towards a younger crowd, which I mean for YA that makes sense, but like for the character's age that does not make sense. So I feel like it just feels so young and immature, I guess, in terms of the writing style, and just the flow and the pacing of the book is very choppy and it does not flow very smoothly. So I guess those are my two biggest issues with this book, but I'm still like reading it. It's like enjoyable. It's a fast read. I definitely just sit there and just read for half an hour and I can bust out a lot of pages. So it's a fast, easy read. Hey guys, it's been a couple days I think since I last updated you guys, but I did want to update you guys on my reading. I'm still reading The Sacrifice physically, and I'm just waiting for More Than Just a Pretty Face to show up on my audiobook right now. And then I only have This Woven Kingdom left, but I need to read that physically. So because of that, I decided to roll again and pick another book. So I got 6, and for that one the prompt is to read a book that is like winter theme, winter on the cover, etc., whatever it is. And so I decided to pick up an ebook because I haven't picked up ebooks in so freaking long, but I had to pick it up. So I am reading that right now. This is The Winter Duke, and so far I'm about 5% of the way through. I decided to pick it up because I forgot my book today at work, so I was like, what am I supposed to read? And I was like, well, let me just pick up an ebook and I can read through that. So I got through 5% of the way. So obviously not much progress has been made, but I think I'm gonna roll again sometime soon because I do want to pick up an audiobook. But the thing is, like, it's very genre specific for me. I can't listen to certain genres, and so I'm really worried that if I pick another one, you know what, I'm gonna roll another one and then let me just roll, come back and see if hopefully I can do an audiobook for that. If not, I will read physically. But I don't know, I'm just like struggling here with finding an audiobook. So I finished the current audiobook and I'm just waiting right now for More Than Just a Pretty Face to be available. Okay, so I just rolled and I rolled a 10, and somehow that led me back to my first prompt, and that is spring. So I decided to pick up Darling Rose Gold by Stephanie Robel. This is a very pinkish book. There's butterflies, definitely give me like spring vibes for sure. And all I know is that this is supposed to be a book about like a mother-daughter relationship and how the daughter thought she was like super allergic to everything growing up, but turns out like her mother is just a really good liar. And I don't really know how that like fits. I don't know, like I'm definitely intrigued because like if she's having allergy reactions, like wouldn't she know like at some point, like maybe when she's younger she can like probably not sure, but like at some point like she will, I don't know, I feel like you will know that like you're having allergy reactions, or if you're not having allergy reactions. Like I need to know more about this, so I'm definitely very curious. And I do have this on audiobook. Thankfully it's available in my library, so I will start reading this, and yeah, hopefully I will be able to finish this soon. All right, jumping in for like a really quick update. I really don't like updating here, but this is the best way to update because I have my computer here and I can just like look on for the roles, because I am actually going to be DNFing Darling Rose Gold by Stephanie Robel. This book is not my cup of tea. I'm 25% of the way through, so I have made some progress, but it's just not good. And not only that, but like it's weird because the whole premise is that the mother poisoned the daughter, and it turns out that there's more to the story, and that the mother still does not believe that she actually poisoned her daughter. And even the daughter herself, even though she was the one who convicted her mother and basically gave the witness like the testimony to put her mother in prison, for some reason like a couple years later she's like, oh, you know what, I think you know, like maybe there's more to it and my mom really didn't do all that stuff. And I'm like, I'm a little confused. So right now the mom is back in the daughter's life. The mom got, you know, set free, and because the mom got out of prison, and now the daughter basically is like, hey, why don't you live with me again, and I also have a son that you can like help take care of. And I'm just like, this is the woman that like poisoned you as a kid. Like, do you really want her near your son? Like, I'm just confused. And like there's a lot of stuff that I'm just like, it's a little odd to me. And I don't know, I'm like confused, but like not in a good way. It's not like in a way where I'm like, I want to know more. It's more like, this is really weird, and it's very off-putting to me, and it does not make any sense. So I am going to DNF this book. So that being said, I'm going to roll a new one right now and see what I get, because I feel like sometimes my rolls have been anyways, roll again. Okay, so I got 7. Let's see, what do I have? Spring. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Poll pick. Okay, so I am going to put it on a couple places like Twitter, Instagram, and my YouTube community, and just pick 3 books and go from there. So I might have to wait a couple hours or so to find out what my next pick will be, but let me think of like 3 books that I think would be good. Anyways, that's my update for now. But yeah, I'm not loving Darling Rose Gold like at all. So I just scoured through my shelves to find 3 books that will be my poll pick. I'm gonna go with Perfect Little Children by Sophie Hannah. By the way, these are all books that I already checked to make sure they're available on audio, so like I don't have to not find them later. And then I have Throw Like a Girl by Sarah Henning. And the last book is Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amina May Safi. These are all books that are contemporary or thrillers, books that are easily read or listened to me by audiobook. So I'm going to post them everywhere and we'll see what the results are, but hopefully I get something soon because I'm trying to work and I need to listen to an audiobook. Okay, so just doing a super quick mini update because it's been a couple days since I last updated you guys, but I haven't really been home because of the heat wave and just been like busy and stuff. But I did end up doing the poll pick, which I will include some images here. I did them on Instagram, on Twitter, and I also did it on my community page, and pretty much they all voted for this book over here, which is Tell Me How I Really Feel by Amina May Safi. This book, okay, so I've been listening to this book on audiobook for the past couple days. I got to like 25% of the way through, and honestly I decided to DNF it. It was just not good. I felt like I was getting a headache while listening to it, which is kind of weird because usually that doesn't really happen to me. And not only that, but the 2 main characters are so annoying. Like, they were both like, woe to me, no one else understands me, like I am just dealing with so much stuff. To be perfectly honest, those type of characters like piss me off because I'm like, okay, like your story is not the most tragic, like there's other stuff happening in the world, and like I don't know, like oh my god, like just the personality just like really irked me because they both felt like they were the center of the universe, and they both felt like they were always right, which I was like, not necessarily the case. But I don't know, like I was not digging either characters. I didn't care for the narrator. A lot of people gave me a headache, and I was just like, this is not it for me. So 25% of the way through, I decided to just DNF it because I didn't want to deal with it anymore. But after that, I decided not to do another dice for now, like another roll, because I still have a couple more books I need to finish. I still have my Woven Kingdom book, I still have my More Than Just a Pretty Face, and I'm still halfway through to Sacrifice, which I am actually really enjoying. It's about this island that is kind of like cursed, and it is owned by this god, this Filipino god, and basically there is some sort of legend where there's some sort of sacrifices. I think it's like 8 or 9 sacrifices total, and what happens when it gets all sacrifices is that they'll wake up from sort of like eternal dream, and they will like move on to like the next realm or something like that, plane of existence. And so this group of producers went there to film some sort of TV show or like a documentary, something like that, and things start to happen. There is a local boy who is their guide. He's been warning them this entire time, like, things are not looking good for you guys. This island does not like you guys. This island doesn't want you guys to be here. Like, I really encourage you guys to leave, but no one wants to listen to him because, you know, of all the money that this show can give them. And so, you know, as the story progresses, weird things are happening, and halfway through, it's definitely creepy. It took me some time to get into it as well because I feel like the setup was quite slow and it was not the most attention grabbing, which is kind of shocking because normally like thrillers and like horror books, it needs to be like intense right off the bat, or like intriguing. Like, it needs to give you like a hook, you know, to like get you into the story, and I feel like this one didn't really have that. So anyways, as I say, for now, I have another update for you guys. I don't remember when's I'll update you guys, but it's probably been a couple days. I feel like it's always been a couple days. I'm not the best in terms of updating because I feel like I've been reading a lot slower these days, and so it takes me a couple days to really finish a book and therefore provide a new update. But I just finished The Sacrifice by Pico. This book was like a 2 or 3 star read. I mean, it was intriguing enough. It definitely gave me some creepy vibes. I felt very eerie while reading this book, so I would say the atmosphere and the writing was great. Like, Pico definitely top notch for the vibe, but in terms of the plot itself, I would say it was kind of weak. Not only the plot, but also the characters, especially because as you get to know more of them, I feel like there's no character development. And obviously I feel like maybe this probably isn't the right book or the right genre of character development, but I feel like end of the day, like, books, usually there's like characters, you know, change a little bit, connections form, stuff like that, and I feel like this one tried to do that. There was a romance in here, but like it didn't really make a lot of sense. Like, I don't really understand why the romance is there in the first place. I feel like this book could have been better without that interfering with the plot, for example. So I don't know, I just feel like overall it was okay, but it definitely was not my favorite Pico book. I've read way better books than this one, so unfortunately this is probably a 2.5 star read for me. But now that that is over, I am going to be picking up This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Mafi. This is one of the earlier roles I picked out, and I think once I finish this one I can probably roll on something else, because all I have left is the More Than a Pretty Face, which I'm waiting for an audiobook, and then I'm still reading Winter Duke on ebook right now. I think I'm like 50% of the way through, so not a ton of progress. I just been like slowly reading that. I feel like that book's gonna take me the entire month because I just am really slow and really bad at picking up ebooks in general. It's never like something I remember, so when I do remember, I'm like, oh, let me read a little bit, and then, you know, that's really all. So hey guys, so just want to jump in and basically update you guys because I want to do another roll. It's been a couple of days since I've last updated you guys, but I am still reading This Woven Kingdom. I am now on page 55, so definitely not a ton of progress, but it's good so far. I can't really say too much about it because I feel like nothing has really happened except knowing that this book is about jinns and humans, and it follows a main character who is apparently a jinn princess. I have not gotten to the part where that is revealed, but according to the synopsis, she is a jinn princess, and she has a run-in with the crown prince, like a human crown prince, and right from the bat he already feels like she is distrustworthy and has some sort of suspicions about her being a spy, etc., not just because she is a jinn. So right now there's a whole history of what happened to jinns a long time ago and why now jinns are seen as like subpar to humans, even though they are technically stronger and better, etc., than humans, but due to like circumstances they're considered like second-class citizens. And that's all I have right now. It's intriguing so far. I don't know if this book is like really sucking me in, because I've read her other books before and they've all been like really good. So far this book just doesn't have the same caliber of like the writing. It doesn't have the same caliber of like the characters or plot, but then again, I'm only 54 pages in, so there's a good chance that I just haven't gotten to that part yet. So we'll see how this goes. I'm still going to continue reading it and just see what happens. I'm still waiting for More Than Just a Pretty Face to show up on my Libby. I'm like 300 something in line, so we'll see if I ever get it, to be honest. And I'm still reading The Winter Duke on ebook. I really haven't picked it up. I think I'm still about the same percentage, to be honest, but I did want to do another pick really quickly and see what I get. It is 2, so we can see here, this is what I had last time, 1, 2, which is published set since the year 2020. So I have a lot. Let me go through my shelf right now and find something. Okay, so my battery just died, which is awesome, but I did take the time to actually go through my shelves right now and see which book to pick for that. So I'm gonna go with Sister Dear by Hannah Mary McKinnon. This book came out in May 2020, so this fulfills this prompt over here. I just think this is a thriller. It says, beauty, wealth, success, she's got it all, and it all should have been mine. And I guess it follows this woman called Eleanor, whose father dies, and she realized that her father isn't really her father, and she was a product of an affair, and her biological father is still out there. And so she ends up finding a half-sister, and this perfectly perfect Victoria has everything that Eleanor could ever dream of, and all of it was stolen from her, who now plans to take it back. So I'm super curious, but anyways, I'm gonna roll my second one right now since I got double, and we'll see what I get. Hopefully it's like not another double. 5. So I have it over here, and let's see, so this is what I had just now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means it is a favorite genre. So basically that means pick a book that is part of my favorite genre. I'm assuming that's what it means. Okay, I feel like that is not difficult. Let me think of something. I will be right back. Okay, so I am gonna go with Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Weber. This book I believe was on my August TBR, but I never got around to actually reading this book, so I will take this time now to read it, because I feel like at the end of the day, fantasy is still my favorite genre. So I want to pick up this book, and we'll see how this goes. I really hope this will be good. It says 1 throne, 2 princesses, and 1 apparently was stolen from birth from the palace, and now she's back to usurp the princes in order to protect the witches. Whereas the princess, who was raised in the palace, has a fear of witches because they killed her parents, and she's doing everything she can to defend her kingdom. So they're definitely on opposing ends, and I'm very curious to see like how this will all play out. But yeah, those are my 2 books now, and I only wanted to get 1 book, but now I have 2. So I will update you guys once I get to more reading. It hasn't been a few days, it's been like the next day. This was 1 day later. But I want to just give you guys a quick update because I have decided to DNF Sister Dear by Hannah Mary McKinnon. I don't know, I got to like an hour and a half into the audiobook, and I was like, this is not it for me. I have literally been DNFing books left and right. I literally just calculated to see like how many books I've DNF'd for this video, or for like the readathon, and I have DNF'd 4 books now, and I've only read 3. So the odds are not great right now, and I'm like debating if I want to roll another book and see what I get. The issue right now is I'm looking for an audiobook only, and therefore, because I can't really do fantasy in audiobook, I'm really limited only to like mysteries and contemporaries, which I have a lot of, or in historical. But I don't know, like, I mean, just like, should I do it, should I not do it? I don't know. Let me just do it and see what happens. May the odds be ever in my favor. Okay, so I had last time it was favorite genre, and I have my board up right now, so I don't know, we'll see what I get. All right, rolling another one. Hopefully it's a good one, and hopefully I don't regret doing this. All right, 6. If you guys can see my screen here, I have, this was last time, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, autumn. Okay, so this means that I should read a book that is set in autumn or reminds me of autumn. which is actually pretty good for me since that basically means like a spooky horror creepy book, and usually I can go for mystery thrillers. So let me look up something and see if I have any. Wait, hold on a second. Didn't I have, okay, I had this book for my poll pick, Pretty Little Children by Sophie Hannah, and I do have this in an audiobook already, so maybe I'll just pick up this one. It's supposed to be like a psychological suspense about this woman, Beth, where she goes and drives to her like ex-best friend or something, and for some reason like she hasn't, I don't know why they're ex-best friends, but she goes there and she happens to arrive when her best friend shows up and calls out to her children to get out of the car. And the weird thing is that they literally look exactly the same. Like nothing has changed in the past 12 years since they've talked, which honestly is kind of crazy since she's like not even that far away, but that's wild. So maybe there is some creepy factor to it, and therefore it does remind me of fall. Plus like the cover also gives like October vibes, you know what I mean? So I will go with this, and hopefully this will be a better pick. I don't know, I just been like DNFing books left and right. I've either been like in a great reading mood, like I am reading books crazy. Like I literally just sat down and read so much of This Woman Kingdom yesterday. I am now on page 186, so I don't know where I was yesterday, but I've made quite a good dent to this book already, and I'm not loving it, but I am intrigued enough to continue on with it. So I am still in a reading mood, but for some reason like audiobooks, it's like they need to really like engage me early on, and I've literally DNF'd this book now, Sister Dear, and I also just DNF'd Throw Like a Girl, which is actually another poll pick of mine. After I DNF'd that one, I was like, what should I pick up next? And I just pick up this one on a whim, and I also DNF'd this book, which is kind of crazy because it's contemporary romance, and usually those are like super easy, super fast to read. This is not it for me. I do not care for the main character. She seems very like entitled for some reason, and I'm just like, no, this is not it. So I am going to try Perfect Little Children and see how this goes now, because I'm actually trying to prepare dinner. But yeah, anyways, just want to update you guys on my very lackluster reading, I guess. Like it's not bad, but like it's not great, you know? So anyways, all right, so it's the next day now, and I have quite a few updates for you guys because I'm happy to report that I have been listening to Perfect Little Children by Sophie Hannah, and it is literally so good. I'm 63% of the way through. I listened to so much of it during work today because I actually went to the office, and I was just so invested in what was happening. Like the storyline is so like intriguing. So like I said already, this book basically follows a woman where she accidentally sees her best friend, her ex-best friend from 12 years ago, and basically drives past her house and finds her and her kids, who apparently never age. And at first she's like, what the fuck? So the one thing I like about this book is just how she goes into a rabbit hole, but she doesn't do it alone. She enlists the help of her family. It's not one of those situations where she's just like worrying about herself and no one around her life, like her family, doesn't know what's happening. But in this case, everyone very much does. Her husband, her daughter, they're all trying to figure out like what exactly is going on, because everyone agrees that it is really weird. And the more she digs into it and the more she uncovers, the more that Flora, her ex-best friend, is trying to hide things, and she's making it really obvious to her that the more Beth is like, I need to uncover and figure out what exactly is happening. And like she's just going through so much. It's this deep down rabbit hole, and I am so intrigued because like as of right now I literally have no idea like what it could possibly be. Like they've thought of all these different like theories, like time traveling. They thought of like a time like loop again and again, or like frozen in time. They thought of like genetic mutations. They thought of like just different various reasons, like maybe the mom was hallucinating, but like the more she finds out, the more she's like, no, I'm not hallucinating. And even like situations where her daughter was there and her daughter was also like, what the fuck? Like there's just so many incidents that is clearly showing and proving to everyone that something bizarre is really going on, and it's just so crazy. Like I cannot wait to find out what happens next. I'm hoping like the ending is actually good and like legit, because like there's so much buildup, and like I'm so intrigued. The only issue right now is I feel like the middle part, which is where I'm at right now, I feel like it's like a loop where she's constantly being questioned and she's constantly trying to prove herself, and it's like the same situation but like different scenarios over and over again, and it's kind of tedious. Like I just want her to like like, you know, like move on to the next stage. So that's the one thing I would say about this book. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. I'm so happy I picked up this book because it's so freaking good. On the other hand, I did pick up This Woman Kingdom. I did read a little bit during work today, and now I'm on page 295, so definitely made quite some progress as well. I am more than halfway through. I'm hoping to finish this book, like, probably not tomorrow because I know like myself these days, but hopefully by like Friday, end of Friday, I think I should be able to finish that book, which I'm really excited for if I do get to it. So definitely can't wait to continue on. I'm so curious. I don't like the main guy that much, Cameron, like the prince. There's just so much about his personality and like his characters that it's just a little bit off-putting. So the one thing I would say about the writing style is it does alternate POVs. So one chapter is Eliza, who is the djinn, and the other chapter is the prince. And I feel like when they switch timelines, it's so jarring because there's so many moments where it's like huge cliffhanger, like, oh, the prince opened the door, or like heard a loud bang and then went to go see who it is, and then suddenly it's like next chapter and it's Eliza's turn, and you're just like, what happened? Like, you can't just leave me hanging like this. And like, it's fine once in a while, but it happens like consistently that like it makes each chapter, like the way how it ends, like really annoying, because I feel like that doesn't really happen normally in other POVs, like other books with like multiple POVs. It's not as jarring, and I feel like because it's such a big cliffhanger each time, it makes it even more jarring. So that's like the biggest issue I would say about this book, that and the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of Cameron. Other than that though, I'm flying through it. It's really intriguing. I really want to know what happens more, because there's this big reveal about this one character that I'm like, whoa, okay, did not see that coming at all. And I'm really curious to see how this will unfold with this person's relationship with Eliza as well as with Cameron. So that's all I'm gonna say, but very invested right now. Definitely can't wait to continue reading. Big update, guys. I just finished listening to Perfect Little Children by Sophie Hannah. This book was literally so good. I was so invested to everything that was happening in the book. It had all the elements of a great thriller. Like, it kept me on the edge of my seat. There's tons of plot twists going on. You literally kept wondering like what is happening, what's going to happen, what really happened. Like, you're just wondering so many different things. Like, just a lot of elements to a really good thriller for me, and I really enjoyed this book. I'm not sure if it's like a 5-star read per se, but probably like 4.5 star for sure. It was just gripping. It kept me engaged throughout the entire story, and I loved how the ending, even though like it just kept like, there's just like plot twist after plot twist, and like the way how the book ended too, it made sense. And I like that, because I feel like sometimes I hate when like thriller authors make this ending that is like so out of the blue that it really does not make sense at all, because it's so out there, like it's so like ridiculous. But this is one that definitely made so much sense, and as Beth just kept uncovering layer after layer of the deception, she's like, something's going on. She kept going for a gut feeling, and I don't know, I was really invested, and the way just everything concluded was done really well. So highly recommend this book. Really happy I read this one. And then in terms of my other update for This Woman Kingdom, which I'm still reading, I read quite a lot today. I am now on page 379. I don't have a lot to go, so I feel pretty confident that I don't think I'll finish it today, but I'll finish it tomorrow for sure. So, you know, there's that. But the other good news is that I just got Blackpink tickets, so I'm really stoked about that. Anyways though, I'm going to continue reading This Woman Kingdom. So I think that's my update for now. I think I'm going to, I don't know, should I do another role? I haven't decided yet. Maybe I'll think about it and do something else. I'm not sure yet. But I'm still waiting for More Than Just a Pretty Face to show up, to be available. And yeah, that's it. But here's a quick view of my kitty who just jumped onto my lap. Look at this. She's just, I don't know, she loves to just come to my desk area and just lie here. Okay, now she's leaving. That's literally my life right now, where I'm just working and she'll be like near the window with her sister, and then suddenly she'll just like trot over. I just see her like walking over to me, and then she'll just jump on my lap. And she'll stay there for the next hour or so, and I'm like, no, I can't move. And then I'll have to move at some point, but then she'll like come back again and again, like throughout the day. So she's definitely the more needy one. The other sister is just like, don't give a fuck, and is just chilling and sleeping by herself, and she's very independent. So the very independent one versus the very needy one. Okay, so I decided to actually do some more rows, and well, I should do one row, and then it was a double, so I have 2 rows. So lovely. But I did roll a 4, which got me to Features a Death. So I'm going to be picking up Escape Room by Megan Golden. This book is about this like corporate company where they decided to do a event together. I want to say the Escape Room. It's like a team building exercise, and the biggest mystery to solve in this lethal game is what happened to Sarah Hall, who once was a shining star but now she's dead but not forgotten. So it definitely revolves around this dead actress, or the star. I'm not sure she's an actress, but it revolves around her, so I feel like that will count for this book. And then because it is a double, I did roll again, and this time I got a 5, which led me to multiple POVs. So I'm going to go with Kissing Lessons by Sophie Jordan. This is a book that has multiple POVs. I just checked right now, it has Hayden and it follows Nolan. And maybe there follows more people, but as of right now, I just double checked. I looked at like 2 chapters and they had different perspectives, so I'm like, that counts. So there might be more POVs, I'm not sure, but yeah, so right now these are the 2 books I'll be picking up next because they're both going to be on audio, and now I can work with an audiobook for me to listen to. All right guys, so just doing a quick update. I'm just doing it very quickly because I am actually leaving probably in the next like 30 minutes or so, and I'm doing it here because my boyfriend's out there in the living room and he's like in a meeting, so I don't want to like be loud there. But I did have 2 updates for you guys. I did manage to finish This Woman Kingdom, which I am going to give 3.5 stars. It was good, but it wasn't like, I feel like the ending was very rushed with everything. And please ignore Soju. Like, she's the one who's meowing right now, and she is, I don't know why she's meowing so loudly right now, because she's like in the other room, but she's like mounting at my attention, and I don't know why. So anyway, just ignore her. Point is though, the ending was very rushed, it feels like, and there were so many like characters that were suddenly introduced that you're just like, okay, whoa, like what's happening here? And I felt like the beginning was so much slower, just introducing everyone, introducing like the political issue, introducing what's going on, the division between humans and jinns, etc. And I feel like the ending just felt so rushed that if the author had taken the time to really like explain things a little bit more in the same manner that she did in the beginning of the book, I feel like I would have enjoyed it a lot more. Not to mention, like, I am not a fan of the prince, like, hands down. Like, just a lot of things that he said and did, I was just like, I don't know, just a little bit weird. And then the ending is definitely a huge cliffhanger, but I'm very hesitant about picking up the sequel because I'm like, it was intriguing enough, but I don't know if it's intriguing enough for me to like really spend more time and energy on the sequel when the first book was just 3.5 stars for me. So that's kind of an update for that book, but I did manage to finish that book, so I'm really happy about that. Then the other update I have for you guys is This Escape Room, which I just started listening to earlier today or last night, and now I am super invested. I am 82% of the way through on my audiobook, and it's so engaging. It's basically about this like escape room team building event that this company is providing for this one group. There's 4 characters in this escape room, and as soon as they get into it, they're just like, okay, whatever, like I don't want to be here, but if this is for the company, like we'll do it, because this company has very much drilled into their heads that the company comes first to everything, to their personal lives, to their relationships, etc. And so they go to this escape room purely because to satisfy their company's wishes. And so now they're in there, and before they know it, they start having all these clues that centered around this one character called Sarah Hall, who apparently passed away, I want to say a couple years ago at this point. And the book also follows her perspective from before she started working at the company to the events during her company experience, and then the events leading to her departure from the company right now. And it's so fascinating just to see like what she went through, what her experience was, what her relationship with her co-workers were like, how cutthroat this company is, and like it's just such a wild ride right now. I'm like so invested with what happened to her, and I'm curious to find out like, how did she die, what exactly happened. I can kind of guess what happened to her, but not like in specific details. And so I'm curious to see like exactly how this and how she ended up dying, and like what exactly happened to her, because right now I have suspicions but nothing is confirmed. And then I'm also curious to find out like what's gonna happen at the end. So this book is really fascinating. I'm definitely interested in continuing. I'm hoping to finish that book tonight, to be honest. But yeah, that's kind of my update for now. Okay, just coming in for an update because it's been a while, I feel like, and I'm honestly so freaking tired. Like today has just been like exhausting for me. It is like almost 3 p.m. and I'm like working, and Mondays are usually not the crazy busy, so thank God for that. But I've just been like in slow mode because my brain is just like functioning on a very slow level because I didn't get home until like 2-3 a.m. last night. Like I didn't go to sleep until like 3 a.m. I want to say, because I didn't get home until like 2 something, and then I was like showering because it was like I went to the Universal like Halloween Horror Nights, which is a lot of fun, but I was so freaking tired. And honestly, I am shooketh that they don't allow costumes in there for like Halloween nights. Like that kind of defeats the whole purpose of going there and not being able to wear a costume. But I did want to come in here and jump on and give you guys 2 updates, because I did manage to finish reading Escape Room, which was really freaking good. Did I update you guys on that already? Maybe I updated you guys on that already. I don't even remember. But it was good. I really enjoyed that. And then the second book that I picked up is Kissing Lessons by Sophie Jordan. This book I am 65% of the way through. I'm really enjoying it actually. It's a really fast read. It's also super short. It's basically about this girl called Hayden, where she apparently is like known for being like the hot girl and just has her pick of guys, even though she basically she has a reputation for being a certain way. And the thing is, a lot of these rumors are unfounded, because she's just trying to like survive. She has a really bad family situation. She is juggling jobs, working full-time essentially, while also in school, and she's just trying to earn money and get her way out of town. Like she has no time for relationships, she doesn't really have time for guys, but apparently there's a lot of like rumors going around her because she's like just really pretty, and I guess guys just automatically think a certain way when they see her. So there's a lot of rumors surrounding her. Then there's also a girl called Emmeline, who is a very like naive, innocent girl who has a very protective older brother called Nolan. And Nolan is like the super popular dude, and of course like Hayden and Nolan, you know, things that are happening between the 2 of them. Emmeline also finds out about Hayden and asks her to like kind of teach her like her ways of being like seductive and teach her to be more confident with guys, etc. And so Hayden, because she's trying to earn money, agrees to do this because Emmeline offered to pay her. So that's kind of like gist of the story right now. It's fun, it's entertaining. There's not a lot of like meat to this story. It's just a good time. So this is like the perfect book to listen to while I'm like half awake, I feel like, because it doesn't take a lot of mental energy or capability out of me, which is great. So yeah, that's all I can say right now for this update. Been reading. I hope to finish this book probably today actually, because I've been going through this like super fast. I have like maybe an hour and a half left, something like that. Oh no, 3 hours left, but like with the speed that I'm listening to, it's like an hour and a half left. So I think I'll be able to finish that very quickly. And then after that, I will be picking up at some point in near future Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Weber. This is about 2 sisters and a crown, and I guess like one sister, they're basically fighting for the throne. That's all I remember. So we'll see about that book. I'm still waiting for More Than Just a Pretty Face, which, let's see, it still says I have like 2 weeks left, and it says I'm second in line. Right now I'm first in line. So whoever finishes before me, hopefully they finish it soon, and then I can be able to borrow it and listen to that. I don't have any update in terms of The Winter Duke. I am 13% of the way through, so I really have not picked it up in a while. I should have picked it up yesterday when we were waiting in lines and stuff. All right, quick mini update time, because I did manage to finish listening to Kissing Lessons by Sophie Jordan. This is probably a 3-star read. It's good, it's entertaining, but there's not a lot of depth to it like I mentioned already. So it was just a fun read and I enjoyed reading it. So now that I finished that book, I do want to do another roll, because I am now done with my audiobooks, and I'm still waiting for More Than Just a Pretty Face. Hopefully get that in the next week or so, because otherwise I will not be able to finish that. But I did also start reading Twin Crowns, which is right over here, and I am now on page 8. So clearly made a ton of progress. Not much obviously has been made there. We'll see how this goes. Nothing much to say, to be honest, because I just started reading it. I've only gotten to both of their perspective once. I think I'm on chapter 3 right now, and there's still a lot to be learned about this world and the sisters obviously, and just the history of what's going on and kind of like why they were separated at birth. There's a lot of like things I need to uncover, so obviously need to make some headway with that book. But that being said, let's jump into the next roll. So I have my laptop in front of me. Let's see what I get. 6. Remember from last time, this was the last space I was on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Randomized TBR. Okay, so for this one, I think I'm going to just find some books, or maybe I just find a book for my bookshelf and just randomize from there. I think that's probably easiest. Okay, so I have 34 shelves. I get shelf number 9, which means it's over there. Probably have like 30 books on there. 23. So book number 23. Let me find the book and I will be right back. Okay, so the book I got is A Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow. Unfortunately, this book is going to take me a couple weeks to get on my Libby, so I am going to roll again and see if I get another book. But I will have this book on the side in case for some reason the hold comes early and I am able to get it earlier. But let's just roll again and see what I get. Hopefully I don't screw myself over. Okay, 6 again, and this was the last one I had. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means I landed on people, which apparently means that I need to pick a book with people on the cover, ideally as a focal point. So let me look up a book right now where there is someone on the cover. I'm assuming like illustrations also work if it's like a person being illustrated on there, but let me find something. I feel like I definitely have a lot to go for this one. I'm looking ideally for a contemporary or a thriller mystery, so I can listen to an audiobook that's hopefully also available on audio. So I'm back and I have a book. So I found a book that is A Love-Hate Thing by Whitney D. Grandison. This book obviously has 2 people in the front, so definitely the focal point for this cover, which definitely fits, and I have it available in audio, so I'm going to be listening to that now. All I know about this book is about 2 people, 2 teenagers, where one of them is like a troubled teen boy and the other is like very spoiled, very like sheltered girl, and she's not happy when her parents decided to take in this troubled teen boy, and now they're both living under one roof. And I'm assuming there's like romance involved and kind of like dealing with some hard-hitting topics, because I think something happened to this guy. He says that he survived. Okay, so he was shot actually, and he survived the streets of Lindenwood and nothing can faze him. So I think there's going to be some hardish hitting topics involved in this book, so we'll see how this goes, but I'm excited for it. I actually don't really know much about this book in terms of like other people's reviews and everything, but yeah, we'll see. I'm happy to pick up a book now that I can listen to an audio while I finish up my day for work. All right, just coming in for a quick mini update because I am currently listening to a Love-Hate Thing, and I'm about an hour and a half through on the audio, and I think I might actually DNF this book because all I can say is that the main girl, Nandy, is so freaking irritating and frustrating. And I knew going into that she is very like a spoiled rich girl, but she is so irritable. Like there are like spoiled rich girls that are kind of like innocent and like, you know, just don't really understand, like very sheltered. I feel like that is not necessarily the case of her. She's very much like spoiled and incredibly like unaware of anything around her, and just her attitude, like the way, also maybe just the narrator and how the narrator is like making her out to be, but I am not a fan of her at all. And not only that, but Tyson's also very like, I'm gonna kill this girl, you know, like I'm so annoyed with her, I'm gonna kill her. In the next 2 months I'm just gonna be spending how to like, you know, where to hide the body, etc. And I'm just like, okay. I don't know, I'm just like not a fan of his attitude either, and I'm really mostly irritated with Nandy, to be honest. Like Tyson, I'm like okay, like if Nandy was a better character, I feel like I can get along with Tyson, like his character I can like, you know, roll with it, but the 2 of them meshed together, it's just no bueno for me. So I am pretty much going to DNF this book, which is very unfortunate because I just started it, like I don't know, but that's kind of my update for now. And I think I'm going to put a pause on picking up another audiobook just right now because I'm technically waiting for 2 audiobooks and I don't want to pick up a 3rd one and potentially, you know, I don't know, we'll see. But like it's already the 20th, 21st of September, so I only have a couple days left, like a week and a half left for this month. So maybe I should just tone it down a little bit and wait until I actually get the audiobooks I have for my current picks already before I start to pick up another books. So I'm gonna put a pause on making another roll for now and just wait for my audiobooks to come through, and hopefully they come through and then we'll see. But I'm like super disappointed about this one because I was like really excited going into it, but now that I've actually read it or listened to a little bit, not a fan. Most definitely not a fan. I honestly am just shooketh that it is pretty much almost October. It is the last week of September, and I do have a cute updates for you guys for this readathon. But I did finally manage to get a copy of More Than Just a Pretty Face by Saeed and Masood on Libby. So my audiobook came in, really happy about that. I got to like an hour in and I decided that I'm going to DNF it. It is just not my book at all, and I don't know, I just feel like I don't care about the characters. The story is just really slow, and the main character himself is very much like, he has no confidence in himself, and I feel like it just makes the whole book's like atmosphere like a little bit darker, I guess. Like, it's not as like uplifting. I don't know, I just feel like right now I'm not in the mood for that kind of book, so I am going to be DNFing this book, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I also am still reading Twin Crowns. I am now on page 330, so I am on track to finish it this week, and hopefully I finish it. I feel like, knowing myself, I'll probably finish it not today, but maybe tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest, just knowing my reading pace and everything. But the other update I have is that I am still reading The Winter Duke. I am 15% of the way through. I honestly am hoping I finish the end of the week. I really don't know, because I just feel like I just don't pick up my ebook very much, and so because of that I just never remember about reading it, and so I'm just reading it very slow, but it's fine. Let's see, what other updates do I have for you guys. I'm still trying to wait for this book, A Song Below Water. I'm hoping that it gets to me soon on Libby, but I'm not sure, because as of right now it says that I am still 10th in line and I still have 2 weeks left, and there's only 2 copies, so I'm not really sure if I will be able to get it before the end of this readathon. I think it's time to officially end this vlog, because it is now October 4th and I am editing this video right now and I have not done that yet. So here I am, finally ending this vlog, and honestly I can safely say that I don't think I've ever DNF'd as many books that I did for this readathon as I did this time around, because I picked up and DNF'd 6 books, which is kind of shocking for me. Let's just do a quick rundown of the books I did pick up and what my thoughts are very quickly. It's basically my rating essentially, as well as the books that I have yet to pick up, but let's just kind of go through the list. So one of the books I was supposed to pick up was Song Below Water, which I never got to. It's still on hold at my Libby library, so unfortunately I never got around to it. As of right now it still says at 2 weeks, so I feel like it said that for the past like 2 weeks and I haven't gotten it yet, so we'll see when I actually get it, but hopefully it's good. I don't know, but it seems like a really short, easy read. I picked up Kissing Lessons, which I gave 2 stars. I picked up Escape Room, which I gave 4 stars. Really fascinating read. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend this one. I also picked up Perfect Little Children, which I also gave 4 stars. Then I picked up Twin Crowns, which is finally this one I gave 3 stars. I'm still technically reading The Winter Duke. I am, as of right now, like about halfway through, 60% of the way through. So I've made some progress. I don't know, like I am enjoying parts of it, but it also is a little bit slow. I also feel like I'm just reading it very slow because it's an ebook and I just don't really pick up ebooks as much anymore. So I feel like with all those factors combined, I'm just plodding through, basically just reading it whenever I get a chance and whenever I remember to pick up the ebook. So I don't really have much update for that, but I am getting through it and hopefully I finish that somewhat soon. I read The Sacrifice, which I gave 2.5 stars. I also picked up Once Upon a K-Prom, which I gave 4 stars. Then I picked up The Woven Kingdom, which I gave 3 stars or 3.5 stars. And the final book that I picked up is The Queen's Assassin, which I gave 3 stars. So with that, I read a total of 8 books. I am halfway through another one and unfortunately never picked up the last one. And then I DNF'd 6 books, so not the greatest, but at least I read more than I DNF'd, so at least there's that. Anyways, that's all to say for this video. Let me know down below if you joined this readathon, and if you did, how did you guys do? I hope no one DNF'd as many books as I did. But as always, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I would like to subscribe to my channel, and if you like to see more content of me, please don't forget to subscribe down below, as well as hit the notification bell. And as always, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!